So I just got done shooting. Check out this picture. See those dark spots in the corners? That's called a vignette. And that's caused when your super wide angle lens, like this Sony 16-35, sees the corners of your filter holder. Now, there's a couple ways you can fix it. You could zoom in, but if you have to do that, what's the point of owning a 16-35? You could also switch to a much bigger filter holder system. They're big, bulky, and a lot more expensive. Or you could just switch to the Cokin NX system. Let me show you the difference. See? No more vignette. Let's head back to the office. I'll show you the new system. All right, how is Cokin able to do this? How are they able to get a polarizer, 2 square filters, in a filter holder that doesn't vignette on a 16mm lens? And when I say it doesn't vignette on a 16, I mean at full 360-degree rotation. Other manufacturers will tell you that it'll work on 16mm, but if you rotate it off axis from 45 degrees, by just rotating there, if you go off by 45 degrees, you're gonna start to vignette. You're gonna start to see things appear in your corners like you saw in the video previously. So Cokin was able to do this by starting over. It looked at the frame and said, what do we need to improve? Where can we save space? And the first place they looked is the polarizer. So you take a frame and you figure out, how can I get this polarizer to fit without taking up any more space than what the frame already does? So they did this by housing the polarizer within the skeletal structure of the frame itself, okay? So here's a polarizer, and here's the frame. All right, we're gonna attach this into the skeletal structure of the frame by just popping it into place. And then you're thinking, all right, but how do I rotate it? Well, you rotate it by using this wheel on the side. Now, we're not the first to do that, but we were the first to put it inside the skeletal structure of the frame, so the filter itself, once added to the frame, doesn't increase the space at all. And that's how they were able to get a polarizer into this frame without any additional space taken up. To get it out, all you have to do is pop it out, and there you go. To put it back in place, you just pop it into place. You never have to touch the glass itself. And there you go. Now the next area they needed to tackle is how to reduce the amount of space between the filters themselves, which adds to the vignetting problem. They did that by going to a frame system, a frame that houses the glass. The frame system will engage a set of ball bearings, all right, spring-loaded ball bearings that are integrated into the frame itself. And each frame, like this one here, this is a 100 by 100 square filter with a frame attached. And each frame has a groove, set of grooves on both the left and right side of the frame. And this engages those ball bearings when you slide it in and creates tension and a guide so that we can adjust these up and down, set into place. We can add a second one. This is a rectangular filter that allows us to adjust the horizon of the graduated neutral density. And that allows us to have 2 filters, 2 square filters, in the space that really almost one entire filter took up previously. Now we have a system that can hold a polarizer, a square filter, another square filter, or a rectangular filter, in the space where 2 filters were able to occupy previously. We are now able to get 3 filters in that same space. For those that are not familiar with the square filter system, I'm just going to take you through a quick little setup on how you attach everything to your lens. All right. First thing you need to know is, what is the filter size of the lens that I'm using? In this case, this is a 16-35 millimeter Sony. It uses an 82 millimeter filter thread. So the first thing we need is an adapter ring. The adapter ring is just like a filter, but it's going to allow you to attach the holder itself to the lens. All right, and we're just going to screw that on. All right, we're going to find that thread, get that in place. Next step, we're going to attach the filter holder. On one side, you have a little retaining. This is a non-movable part. This is spring-loaded here. All we're going to do is find that groove on the other side, pull out the spring load, all right, and let go, and now it's attached. It will not come off, but it does allow you full 360-degree rotation. Now, if we want to add a polarizer at this point, we can just pop that in place. For control, we just use the wheel on the side so that you have full rotation. And then at this point, we're going to drop in our square filters. But before I do that, real quickly, I just want to make a mention. On all of our NX holders, we have a felt light gasket on both the top and the bottom. Why do we have that there? That is to prevent light leaks. All right, light leaks happen when light is approaching from behind, from the sides. It creates reflections back and forth in the glass in there. This gasket, when you attach that first filter to that up against that gasket, creates a light seal now against the glass and then against the holder itself as we rotate that down so that no light travels and can get inside there, creating back reflections. Then we can add the second filter in front of that. And this is a rectangular filter. In this case, it's a soft grad, so we can adjust the horizon up and down depending on what we need that filter to do for our environment. We also, because the way this system is designed, like I mentioned before, we have full 360-degree rotation. All right, so we can rotate this in any angle we want without any vignetting. And then when we're done using, we can just pop everything off, put them back in their case, and then we're ready to go to our next location. Okay, let's talk about what's compatible with the NX filter system. The first thing you need to realize is that the adapter rings are our Z Pro / L series adapter rings. So they're the same adapter rings we've been selling for a lot of years. So this is compatible with the NX system. The next is filters. The filters that we currently sell that are compatible with the frames are our Nuances Extreme Neutral Density and Nuances Extreme Graduated Neutral Density filters. In addition to that, it also accepts Nuances Clear Sky filter, which is a light pollution filter, and our Nuances Infrared filter. So those are the filters that we currently make that are compatible with the filter system. Now here's the really cool part. If you own another filter system by another manufacturer, our frames are compatible as long as they measure 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters and 2 millimeters thick, or 100 millimeters by 150 millimeters and 2 millimeters thick. So that means if you have a competitor's filters that you want to use with our system, as long as those exactly measure those dimensions, you can use it with our frames. Now let me talk about what's incompatible. If you own the previous version Nuances Neutral Density or Nuances Graduated Neutral Density filters, unfortunately those filters will not work with the system because they are too thick. Also incompatible with the system is the Cokin Creative Series filters. Those are the optical resin filters that come in multiple colors and sometimes in neutral densities. Those filters will not work with this system. So if you have any other questions about the NX system that I didn't answer in this video, you can just reach us at our website through our contact page at cokinfilter.com.